Meanwhile, in Australia, campaign kicks off to lower Australian compulsory voting age to 16. Because that's what we want.
Idea.
They fully indoctrinated stupid children with no fucking ties to the community and no life experience. That's what we want fucking voting. And what's their argument for this? It's because they're disproportionately impacted by climate bullshit.
Because they're easier to indoctrinate.
Well, that's their actual reason, but it's not their excuse.
Yes, they're more easily convinced by words as opposed to deeds.
Yeah. Young people aged 16 and 17 have the same cognitive ability as older Australians who have the same right to vote, according to a group of idiots. Well, if that's true, why is the drinking age 21 in America and 18 in Australia and
19 in Canada?
Yeah.
Well, most of Canada.
Yeah, and why? Why are your insurance rates higher until the age of 25?
Yeah, here's a good one too. You have to be at least 25 to borrow someone else's car here in Canada. You don't fall under their insurance as someone who borrows their car unless you're over 25. That should tell you all you need to know about cognitive ability.
Yeah, and even if that was remotely true, even if the cognitive ability was true, the priorities and the life experience are completely missing. I mean, it's bad enough at 18. But 16-year-olds are going to vote for free education, which they essentially have, more welfare, and that's basic. Oh, and communist-style housing blocks because landlords are evil and need to be killed. Because that's Australia's latest thing.
I mean, have you met some landlords?
Yes.
Some landlords will do all that they can to convince you that the commies might have a point on that. Some of them are trying real hard.
The politicians stood alongside young people for the launch of the Make It 16 campaign, which calls for the compulsory voting for 16 and 17-year-olds. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Australia has compulsory voting. You must come and vote for your communist overlords or we will track you down and punish you. Oh, but with the caveat that under 18s will not be fined if they fail to cast their ballot. Well fucking done, you psychopathic communist cunts.
So the least motivated
why do they not get the same responsibility as everyone else? Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, is it because their cognitive ability isn't the same? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. And don't give me any of this, oh, it's harder for them to vote bullshit. All the fucking polling places are in school halls.
I would like to have a look at this Ravin Desai to see, is that the guy in the middle of the picture there?
Yes. Who's apparently 12.
Oh no, he's at least 14.
Oh, here we go. Entrepreneur and youth parliamentarian. Okay, so he's a useless commie.
Yeah.
This is the best age to do it. Teenager explains why voting. Okay, so he's a fucking teenager. Oh, student at a grammar school. So this useless commie scumbag.
How does he even have a LinkedIn fucking account? He's probably too young to have the account under their terms of service.
Probably. He's a filthy fucking commie stool. So this 17-year-old says 16-year-olds are on the same intellectual level as 18-year-olds. Well, that's patently not fucking true. And I'm not terribly interested in the opinion of a child. So the useless fucking 17-year-old commie who reckons that he knows shit wants to make the voting age 16. Well, no, fuck off, you stupid fucking commie scumbag. So we've been meeting with our local members. We've been annoying them with our research sessions. I'm sure you've been really fucking annoying and the reception is really strong. Well, of course they want stupid fucking inbred and fully indoctrinated commie trash voting. Independent MP Some Dumb Ho said young people should have a chance to shape their futures. No, they don't know anything. They're children. They haven't even finished school yet. Like, this guy literally won't graduate for another 5 months.
And I think when I was 16 was the first year I had done any sort of poli-sci sort of course in school.
Well, remember that poli-sci now is this is why communism is good and white people are bad.
You know, fair.
Oh, young people at the forefront of many crises being faced by the country, being it housing, affordability, climate bullshit, or ever-increasing student debt. What do you mean increasing student debt, you lying fucking retard? We don't have student debt in Australia. At least not how everyone thinks of student debt. In Australia, and I think it's the same possibly in England, you get an interest-free loan from the government that you do not have to pay back at all until your taxable income reaches a certain level. That's not student debt. Fuck off, you filthy lying commie scumbag.
I will say it's not interest-free in the UK.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
but it works the same way.
In Australia, it's interest-free, and these idiots are mouthing off about fucking student debt. No, not a thing in Australia. And if you're earning enough to be paying back your debt, then shut the fuck up. Useless fucking commies. And of course, only Greens and Independent MPs were present at the launch, with the Label or Liberal being stupid enough to show up. Momentum's building around the world. In November last year, New Zealand's highest court ruled that the country's current voting age of 18 was discriminatory, prompting the country government to consider legislation to lower the voting age to 16. Well, if it's discriminatory from 18 to 16, we might as well let the 6-year-olds vote. Absolutely stupid. Yeah, Australia has considered the same stupidity in the past. The 2018 Joint Parliamentary Inquiry looked into lowering the voting age to 16, but decided to keep the age at 18. The main sticking point was around compulsory voting, as the legislation to lower the voting age would allow voting on a voluntary basis for 16 to 17-year-olds, effectively creating a two-tier system based on age. Yet no shit. Making voting for 16 and 17-year-olds voluntary poses a risk to Australia's very successful system of communistic voting. Yes, because people really, really, really like the government forcing them to go to places they don't want, to do things that they don't want. Any arguments that could be made in support of making voting for 16 and 17-year-olds voluntary are equally applicable to voters who are 18, 28, or 88. Putting any holes in that system is dangerous because it would provide ammunition for those who wish to see Australia's compulsory voting system replace the voluntary voting system. Oh, so sane people. It's good to see that Australia is well on track to copying the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's election system. You will vote, and you will vote for who we choose to, and if you don't, we'll kill you.
Jesus Christ. I'm just looking at your fine system for not voting. It's retarded. First
Welcome to
time,
Australia.
$20. It increases to 50 if you have previously paid a penalty. Electors who do not respond to notices or do not pay the prescribed penalty may have the matter referred to the Fines Enforcement Registry and could have their driver's license suspended. Fucking
That's
assholes.
right. You can have your so there you go. You can have your driver's license suspended, but not voting. So the government is essentially kidnapping you and forcing you to go to a place you don't want, to do a thing you don't want. And if you don't, well, fuck you. Pure fucking evil. That's Australia. And yeah, it's worked so well. We've elected idiots decade after decade.
Well, yeah, I would imagine the compulsory voting thing doesn't encourage people to just walk in and scratch the first name they see and just walk the fuck out because they gotta go back to work.
Oh, well, it's anonymous voting. You don't even have to fucking scratch the name. You walk in, you get your stupid fucking... Well, you stand in line for hours because they've fucked with the system, and if you're unvaccinated, you're not allowed to work for the Electoral Commission. So you wait for hours in line, then you go in, you're pissed off, you take the fucking thing and you just dump it straight in the fucking ballot box and leave. As soon as your name's checked off, you're fucking walking out, dumping shit, going, fuck you, I'm leaving. And there's nothing the government can do about it because it is, in theory, anonymous voting.
What are they doing? Aiming for a 100% turnout and just fucking themselves immensely?
Yep.
Nice.
So deadly sick of this country. I don't think Australia can be saved at this point. If you enjoyed this segment from the Sons of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live exclusively on rumble.com/c/Sons of Chardonnay. A special thanks to our Subscribe Star supporters who you can currently see scrolling past on your screen.